I'm your host, Anthony Larubio. High five for showing up yet again. Every single week I've been high fiving you. Hopefully you're all cool with that. We've got an exciting session for us planned here. This is going to be a bit more dynamic than usual. So we're actually going to start by walking around. Well, actually, first we're going to do a little bit of movement. I'm actually at a climbing gym right now in Minneapolis, so I'm feeling like we should kick things off with a bit of movement. So before we even get walking, if you're seated right now, I want you to go ahead and stand up. And just to begin, just reach for the sky. And I want you to focus on the expansion that happens in your rib cage when you reach for the sky. Feel the space between each rib bone. Inside there, your intercostal muscles, which are an important part of breathing. You can lean to one side, maybe you'll feel that opening up on the side that you're opposite of where you're leaning. You can lean to the other side. As we're doing these movements, just start to focus on the breath as it comes in and out through your nose. Or you can drop your hands back down to your sides and actually continue on down toward the ground to open up your hamstrings and your lower back. Just a couple more breaths here as you feel your body open up. And now go ahead and swing the arms back up to the sky. If you want to interlace your fingers at the top of your head, palms facing up, stretch up to the sky, maybe even get a little arch in your lower back. And go ahead and bring your hands back down to your sides. Now we are going to be walking around. We're going to start off with something called preparation for high altitude simulation training. So obviously I've been training for my high altitude climb. I'm going from sea level to 14,000 feet on a mountain in Colorado here without acclimatizing my body to that. And to do that, I've been doing these breathwork exercises to train my body, make adaptations within my body to be able to handle the high altitude. We're just going to do a little bit of that right now. So all we're going to do is walk back and forth if you've got some space to be able to do that, or walk in place if you don't, about 10 to 15 paces. However, instead of just walking, we're actually going to pinch our nose and hold our breath for those 10 to 15 paces. The way that we're going to start that walk is after an exhale, though. So go ahead and begin inhaling in through the nose. We're just going to take 2 regular breaths here and exhale through the nose. Inhale once more through the nose and exhale through the nose. And at the bottom of that exhale, go ahead and pinch your nose, hold your breath, and walk 10 to 15 paces. You'll notice the sensation of holding after an exhale might be a bit weird to you. Just continue to move through that. After those 10 to 15 paces, you can go ahead and stop, release your nose, and breathe in and out through your nose, starting with an inhale back into the nose first. That is pretty important that we start with an inhale after that breath hold. That's because while we're holding, we're actually building up nitric oxide inside our nasal cavity. That can help with the gas exchange in our lungs and open up our blood vessels as well. It's a really special gas in our breathing biochemistry. So as you breathe in and out through your nose, just 2 more times here. Breathing in through the nose and out. One more time, in and out. Go ahead and pinch your nose and hold your breath after that exhale and walk. We're going 10 to 15 paces or so. Keep on going. Maybe you get that urge to breathe. Maybe you can make it to 15. And at that 15th step, go ahead and release your nose and inhaling in through the nose immediately after. And exhale. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. If you can hear any background noise where I'm at, just disregard that. That's why we're doing a bit more movement here. Not quite as meditative of a practice this morning. Inhaling in and exhaling. And we'll do one more. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Go ahead and pinch your nose, hold your breath now, and walk once again, 10 to 15 paces. And after you reach that 15th, go ahead and release your nose and breathing in and out through the nose. We're just going to do this one more time. Continue to focus on the breath. Two more breaths. So we'll breathe in again, second to last time through the nose, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Pinch your nose, hold your breath, and walk. Keep going. See if you can push yourself a bit further this time. Maybe you're going beyond 15 here until you have that urge to breathe. And when you do, you can release your nose and breathe in and out through your nose once again. What we're doing here is we're increasing the level of CO2 in our body, which opens up our blood vessels. It also kickstarts something called the Bohr effect, which allows the hemoglobin in our red blood cells to actually deliver oxygen more efficiently throughout our body. And secondly, with these breath holds, we're building up nitric oxide, as I mentioned as well, in the nasal cavity, which helps with gas exchange in the lungs and also opens up our blood vessels as well. Go ahead and make your way to a lying down position now. We're going to focus a bit on the mechanics of breathing. We're going to use our hands as guides as we breathe and focus on those proper mechanics. There's going to be two different mechanical exercises we're going to do. So if you need to adjust the computer, the phone, whatever it is you're watching me on, just make your way now down to a lying down position. You do not need a pillow underneath your knees this time. I know often we do that. You do not need that this time. If you want a blanket, you can do that. We aren't going to move again once we're lying down. So to begin with your legs hopefully flat on the ground, if in fact you have lower back pain, you can put your feet flat on the ground and your knees up in the air. If you don't have that lower pain, go ahead and sprawl completely out with your legs all the way out down in front of you on the ground so that the heels of your feet are touching the ground. And what I want you to do is place your hands on your ribs like this, if you can see me. My pinkies are right in line with my belly button, and my hands about here, and my middle fingers are almost touching. And what I want you to do is just start to breathe and feel that movement that happens with these hands as guides. Just breathing, not trying to change anything, just notice these movements in your belly and your ribs as you breathe in and as you breathe out. From this position, I actually want you to start to take a really deep breath. See if you can maximize the amount of space that you're creating and the expansion that happens with your hands. Taking in as much air as you can. And go ahead and exhale. And this time, see if you can squeeze out as much air and contract this space as much as possible. Not using your hands, using your core, using your diaphragm. And go ahead and inhale again. Feeling that expansion all the way in. See if you can sniff a little bit more in so that you reach your full capacity. And go ahead and exhale out through the mouth or the nose, whatever's right for you. And here we're going to the maximal exhale, squeeze out as much air as you can. Feel the contraction in the diaphragm and the core. Your hands should be as close together as they have been this whole time. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and allow the inhale to happen naturally. Good. We're going to take 2 more just recovery breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling that movement. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Now you can go ahead and relax your hands to your sides for just a moment. What you may have noticed while doing that exercise is that a lot of that movement may have happened up from the belly. So the belly is the core part that's expanding, where in fact our lungs, they wrap around 360 degrees around our body, around our core, around that thorax, that space with our lungs and our rib cage. So in order to really feel that, what I want you to do now is put your feet flat on the ground so that your knees are in the air. So that obviously your knees are making an angle. I don't know if that'd be probably not quite a right angle, a little bit more open than that. Maybe a 60 degree, 120. I don't know. I wasn't great in trigonometry. So feet are flat on the ground, knees are up. And now what I want you to do is put your hands back on your ribs. But this time, I want you to just slightly press down on the lowest part of your spine, just so that you almost curl your butt a little bit forward, your hips a little bit forward, so that you can feel that space that typically is there between your lower back and the ground. That kind of goes away a bit. So you're just slightly, not a full thrust forward with your hips, but just slightly angle that forward. And now what I want you to do is take an inhale again and see if you can feel that downward pressure on the ground. So you're really now feeling a 360-degree breath here. Take a few inhales and exhales here and really feel that downward pressure with each breath as you can touch and feel the ground beneath you. We're working right now, obviously, on proper breathing mechanics. We don't just want to breathe in the chest, certainly. We don't just want to breathe in the lower belly forward. We really want to breathe 360 degrees around the ribs, all the way back in that space in our lower back. Just a couple more breaths here. Thumbs up to you if you're able to feel that space open up and touch the ground in your lower back. Great. Now you can go ahead and drop your hands to your sides if they were in fact on your ribs. And we're just going to do a few deep breaths. A few is in about 20 actually, with your knees still kind of propped up in the air like they are now. So go ahead and breathe in deeply through the nose, feeling that full space, 360 degrees fill up, and exhale through the mouth here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In, out. Go ahead on your own now, finding your own pace, as long as you're breathing in deeply through the nose and letting it go through the mouth. We're here for 12 to 13 more breaths. Through this process of breathing, you might start to feel a bit lightheaded. You might start to feel some tingling sensations in the hands or the feet. That's all completely normal as we're changing our biochemistry in our blood. We're becoming more alkaline. We're offloading a lot of CO2. We're here for just 7 or 8 more breaths. Keep going. All right, we're down to our last 5 breaths. After these 5 breaths, we're actually going to do a breath hold, but keep breathing. You got 4 more breaths now. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one on your own. And with me and everybody else watching this video, go ahead and breathe one last time in, fill up the lungs as much as you can, and exhale that out through the mouth. We're going to hold after the exhale. As you reach the bottom of that exhale, without pressing the air out, just allow a natural exhale, pause. Hold your breath. You can drop your feet all the way down in front of you. And just feel the weight of your body here on the ground beneath you. Finding this moment of calm, this moment of peace, maybe this moment of flowing energy through your body as we just made some changes in our body using the breath. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and inhale through the nose, inhaling in, filling up the lungs, and hold that breath at the top. See if you can feel your heartbeat. Our heartbeat picks up when we inhale, and it stays up if we hold our breath on an inhale. Maybe you can feel your heart. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and exhale that breath out, letting that air go. Go ahead and pick your feet back up so that they're flat on the ground again, knees in the air. We're going to do one more round of about 20 breaths now. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. 360-degree breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe on that inhale again, you can feel the lower back pressing against the ground. That means you're filling up that whole thoracic space. Find your rhythm with the breath. You've got 10 more breaths. I want you to breathe through those sensations happening in the body right now. Even if it's hard, keep breathing. Make this the beginning of the difficult things that you're going to do today. When we do difficult things in the morning, that makes the rest of our days a whole hell of a lot easier. Keep on breathing. We're down to our last 5 breaths. 4 more breaths. 3 more. 2 more. Last one on your own. And with me, take a deep, slow inhale, filling up the lungs. And exhale that breath out, letting it go, holding now after the exhale. Hold that breath. Come into the stillness of this moment where you need to be nowhere else except right here. If you have that urge to breathe, you can take a breath. Otherwise, keep holding and just be in your body right now. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in, filling up the lungs, and hold that once again just for a moment. And exhale that breath out, just letting it go. At your own pace, you can start to make your way back up to a seated position. Or maybe you continue to lie down here and meditate. And if that's the case, I'll let you go and let you be. Those that are coming back up and maybe even looking at me at this point, I just want to thank you so much for joining yet again for Monday Morning Breathwork. I'm your host, Anthony LaRubio. As I hope you realize in me talking, if this is the first time doing this, I am a certified breath coach in the Wim Hof method, oxygen advantage, as well as peak flow. All of those. It's led me to be able to guide these sessions for you, which I'm so grateful for. If you're new here as well, feel free to drop me a message, maybe even here in the comment section of whatever platform you're watching this, whether that's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. We're not yet doing these live on Instagram. I'll get there eventually, I promise. But just thank you so much for joining. Feel free to leave comments, questions, concerns, DM me if needed. Once again, I'm Anthony. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next week. High five, everybody. Bye.